Project. I'm Louis A. Scott. I hope you enjoyed today's segment. But we hear about people aging in prison, and I've done a segment or two about that. This morning, I want to introduce you to Bernard. Bernard, come on in, man.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Hey, man, look, how long you been in prison?
I've been in prison since 1983. 43 years.
What was your conviction?
Second-degree murder and manslaughter.
Why are you still here after 43 years when I've seen so many people go home with worse cases?
I have no idea, man. I done had petty write-ups, but I ain't never had no violence write-ups. I ain't never stabbed nobody. I ain't never stabbed the police. I ain't never had no fight. I ain't never did nothing but try to get out of prison, and they still won't let me go.
How old were you when you came to prison?
29.
How old are you now?
74.
Do you pose as a risk to public safety?
No, I don't.
What makes you say that?
Because I know me.
Okay. When you go to the board, that's what they're looking for. You're 74 years old, and they're looking for, do you pose as a risk to public safety?
Exactly. Now, last time I went to the board was February. They denied me 3 years because I told them I wouldn't have no relapse.
What do you mean relapse?
Meaning that I wouldn't use drugs or drink alcohol.
And they denied you because of what?
Because I said I wouldn't never have a relapse. They wanted me to say it's possible that you could have a relapse.
Well, if you're adamant about your sobriety, me being sober 21 years, I think you stand firm in that conviction where you're not going to use again.
Exactly.
Okay, so you have to go in there and basically play the word game and tell them that it's a possibility that you could relapse?
Well, I'm going to have to do that this time when I go back.
And that was...
Yes.
And that was their only reason for denying you?
That, and they said I should have I had a sponsor. They wanted me to write out a report about sponsor. And that was it, man. They told me to come back in 18 months. Don't get no write-ups. Just come back in 18 months.
So you telling me that you're being denied your freedom because you wouldn't go in there and tell these people that it's a possibility that you could relapse. At 74 years old, if you relapse, I think it's going to have to be some kind of pharmaceutical medication.
You better believe it.
Because the stuff they got out there now, it'll kill you.
That's right.
Man, look, how many times have you went to the board?
At least 7 or 8.
What's the problem here? Why is it that they won't let you out? Because this seems petty as hell to me, right? Because I've seen dudes that had decapitations, rapes, murders, arsons, and these dudes are on the streets right now.
Exactly.
So and they were a lot younger than you, let me say that.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that they could pose as a risk to public safety, or they could relapse during their drug addiction, right? But at 74, what do you think is the premises and the basis of them not letting you out of prison?
I have no idea. I really don't.
Man,
look. I really don't.
Look, at the end of the day, man, it is tragic to see at 74 that you're still in prison, because I'm standing here looking at you,
right.
And, I see an elder. I don't see a person that poses as a threat to public safety.
I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat to myself or no one else. I got family that care about me out there. I got good support letters. I got everything going for me. They just won't let me out for some reason.
Could it be who the victim is? Could it be
the victim? The victim, when I got the second-degree murder against, he was a dope dealer.
Okay, but that still doesn't mean that he doesn't have a family that care and love him, right? Let's put it back in perspective, right? He is a victim.
Right.
But in the same aspect, it's like...
And they don't even talk about that crime when I go in there.
Does the family members show up?
Don't nobody show up. The DA don't even show up.
So it's just you and the commissioners?
Exactly. And my attorney.
And the commissioners are denying you because you won't say that there's a probability or
Exactly.
possibility
Yeah,
that you could relapse.
exactly.
Man, that is like the most absurd thing I've heard
Yeah.
at all.
I guess they saying that because I'm in the group NAAA, and we discuss those things, you know. So I'm imagine that's what it was, because they told me to stay in NAAA and come back.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So if you're in NAAA, you're still recovering, right?
Exactly.
Some say that addiction is a lifelong process. So the next time you go to the board, are you going to tell these people that it's a possibility that you could?
Yes, I am.
Do you feel like you're being dishonest in your answers to the board when you say that it's a possibility you could relapse?
Well, I put it like this. That's what they want to hear. I know in my heart and in my mind I'm not going to never use drugs again.
And if that's what you need to tell them in order to get home to your family, then
I told them that. I told them if I have a relapse, I'll call my sponsor. I went through all the procedures that you go through.
right.
In AAA.
Okay.
Peoples, and they denied me.
So you went step by step,
Step by step.
and they still denied you.
They still denied me.
Man, look, at 74, again, I don't think you pose as a risk to public safety. You know, it's like my heart goes out to you because, you know, all of us are struggling to get home to our families.
Exactly.
But our life expectancy, you know, as black men, you know, we're only 77.5 years on this planet.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping you get a chance, you know, the next time you go to be released to spend these last years.
And another thing, they didn't mention nothing about my age, you know, for as you know, put your time in and you certain amount of age, you know. I done did my time 2-3 times.
Well, since we're on that subject, what were you sentenced? What was your sentence?
My sentence was 17 to life.
17 to life.
Yeah.
And you've been in here
3 years.
43 years.
Going on 44.
You've never had a fight and you've never stabbed anybody?
Never.
And yet you're still in prison.
Still in prison.
Again, this is the most absurd thing I've heard. Because I know dudes that's been butchering people in here and they're on the streets now.
Exactly. I know them too.
Man, look. Again, you know, at 77.5 years that we have on this planet, I'm hoping you get to spend the rest of yours on the
I
outside.
appreciate that.
You know, listen, I thank you for this interview, man, and look, just keep your head up and one foot in front of the other, man. It's like somebody first told me, right? It's like you can be wrong and be out there with them, or you can be right and still be here. The meaning behind that is you can stand on your conviction, you know, hey, I'll never do drugs, never do this again. And you can be here with me.
Yeah.
Or you can go in there and tell them people what they want to hear and find that you're wrong in your answer. Because it's ridiculous to me, but you have to be wrong in order to be free.
You're right about that.
So with that being said, I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to misguide you. But under the circumstances, it's like this some bullshit. And I'll just say it flat out.
Yeah.
Because I know what this is about and I know what it is. And it's like it's sad and tragic to see, man. And it's like I just hope you get out there.
It really is, L.A. It really is sad, man. You know, it hurts me to talk about it.
Well, look, I'll put an end to this and, you know, like I say, just keep one foot in front of the other, you know, and just stay focused and stay positive. And don't get no write-ups.
Yeah.
All right, one love and thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm Louis A. Scott with the Folsom Project.